Audio on, exploring German books. A conversation one page at a time. Audio on is brought to you by Frankfurter Buchmese and the Foreign Office of the Federal Republic of Germany.
Halo, selamat datang kembali di Audio On Podcast yang membahas buku-buku, sastra dan budaya Jerman. Audio On, exploring German books one page at a time. Saya Wira Hardi Prakoso. Saat ini, saya sedang berada di Frankfurt, Republik Federal Jerman, menghadiri langsung Frankfurter Buchmese di kota Frankfurt. Di kesempatan kali ini, saya berkesempatan menghadiri sebuah book discussion, Daybreak in Gaza. Sebuah buku yang terbit di tahun 2024 dan berisi kumpulan kisah nyata, kesaksian dan harapan kemanusiaan, serta kesaksian kehidupan dari orang-orang masyarakat penduduk Gaza, Palestina selama masa genosida berlangsung. Adalah Mahmoud Muna dan Matthew Teller yang menjadi pemerakasa dan penyunting dari buku ini, dibantu oleh Juliette Touma dan Jayyab Abousafia. Sebuah buku yang memberikan gambaran langsung bagaimana kejamnya aksi genosida di Gaza, sekaligus juga bagaimana kekuatan moral, fisik, mental, dan tekad, serta harapan dari penduduk Gaza yang bertahan menjalani hidup mereka menjadi inspirasi kekuatan kemanusiaan. Daybreak in Gaza adalah lebih dari sebuah catatan sejarah, namun juga sebuah aksi menyuarakan kemanusiaan di mana segala keuntungan yang dihasilkan dari penjualan buku ini didonasikan kepada gerakan pertolongan medis bagi masyarakat Palestina. Masih di Frankfurter Buchmese 2025 ini, saya bersama Sabine Muller, seorang penerjemah bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Jerman asal kota Köln, Jerman, juga hadir dalam sebuah acara pembacaan puisi bertema Poetry for Freedom, Justice and Peace, A Dialogue of Hope, di mana Mahmoud Muna dan Matthew Teller hadir membacakan puisi serta cuplikan dari buku Daybreak in Gaza. Setelah acara, saya bersama Sabine berkesempatan untuk berbicara langsung dengan Mahmoud Muna. Ikuti bagaimana Mahmoud melihat buku ini sebagai sebuah jembatan dan suara bagi kemanusiaan. Bagaimana suara masyarakat Palestina haruslah terus digaungkan, termasuk di forum Frankfurter Buchmese ini. Di akhir percakapan, Mahmoud juga memberi rekomendasi karya-karya sastra dan sastrawan Palestina yang layak dibaca dan diikuti. Silahkan simak pembicaraan kami, semoga berkenan dan dapat memberi inspirasi.
Audio on, exploring German books. A conversation one page at a time. Audio on is brought to you by Frankfurter Buchmese and the Foreign Office of the Federal Republic of Germany.
Thank you. We saw your discussion yesterday, and we were amazed about how books can change and also you created the books and making impact on the society. So we in Indonesia saw this the Palestinian solidarity and everything is very highly fanatic toward it. And then do you have anything to say about being here in Frankfurt Buchmese and speaking about books and about the war situation?
I think it's very important for people like me, for my community, for marginalized voices from around the world to take the opportunities and to take stages and to take time and be in international forums like the Frankfurt Buchmese and to actually be the voice of our people. Unfortunately, historically, international forums like this has marginalized many voices, including the voices of the Arab world, the voices of the Palestinians. So for me, it's an opportunity, it's almost a duty to be here and to be on stage and to speak both about the importance of books and the importance of literature on a wide scale, but particularly on the importance of the voices of the Palestinians and the Palestinian books and the Palestinian authors in this moment. we know for the last decades that there has been almost gatekeeping, there has been almost a censorship, almost, not official, on publishing and celebrating Palestinian books and Palestinian authors. And it has been a very, very bumpy, difficult road for many Palestinian writers to make it into publishing, into international publishing, in English or German or French or whatever, and for their work to be recognized and for them to win prizes and to be celebrated in international stages. This is a moment of pride, it's a moment of celebration for us, and therefore we must continue on this pattern, if you like. I would like to say also that for years, particularly in the issue of Palestine, there has been a limit on the level of agency that the Palestinians have on telling their own story. Even if the Palestinian story was present in 20, 15, 30 years ago, it was always present through a mediator, through a translator, through an editor, through a European writer or something. And I think in the last 5-10 years, the Palestinians particularly have took it upon themselves that they wanted to write their own story. They want to retake the agency, if you like, of their own voice and of their own story, and they want to write that story and they want to speak about it. And what a better space to speak about the Palestinian story than Frankfurt Book Fair.
Okay, then. If you see that the Palestinian literature nowadays, I mean, during these very long years of war and everything, but do you see that there's a race or a comeback of Palestinian literacy or the quality itself? How do you look at it, and do you see some movement or progress on that, or was just being killed, or I don't know?
Palestinian literature is not a child that was born yesterday. The Palestinian literature is one of the well-known, most articulated craft in the Arab world, and Palestinian writers have been writing for more than 100 years. And it's a literature that born out of pain, and it's a literature born out of displacement and out of catastrophic events like the Nakba of 1948. That's the nature of the Palestinian literature. I think what we see in the last 20, 30, 40 years is some dynamics changing in the Palestinian literature. We see a much more now a literature that is a celebration of the Palestinian identity and the Palestinian culture. We see a much more creative writings coming out of Palestine and coming out of Palestinian literature. So I would say the Palestinian literature, similar to any literature of a nation that has gone through a historic turbulent times and displacement and a pain story. It has emerged from there, and it has progressed, and it's a fully fledged culture that range from wide range of short story to poetry to a novel to non-fiction to children literature, graphic novels and everything in between. And it is a continuation of the Palestinian struggle itself for liberation and independence. It's a mirror. The Palestinian culture very much reflects the journey in which the Palestinian collective has gone through from displacement to a nation that today waiting for a moment of liberation. Okay.
So now one last question, if you may. From your point of view, you are a bookstore, and I know it's kind of a curator of books as well. So any Palestinian authors that we Indonesian needs to check and learn about Palestinian literacy?
Yeah, thanks. I think I will go through different names in different categories. I will say, of course, you have to read Mahmoud Darwish poetry and Samih al-Qasim poetry, but you also need to you have to read the modern Palestinian poets. Mus'ab Abu Toha, for example, from Gaza. You have to read Rifat al-Arir, also from Gaza. I read today parts from Marwan Makhul as well, Najwan Darwish. There's many incredible voices who are writing poetry that are currently living and writing poetry in Palestine. In the long story, in the long novel, I think you should really be reading Suzanne Abul Hawa, and you should really be reading Isabel Hamad. Those are incredible young women who are writing fabulous tales of a nation through the craft of historical fiction and the work of fiction. I think for memory and for diaries, you should definitely be reading Raja Shehadeh, the most celebrated living Palestinian writer. You should definitely read the fabulous, witty, love writings of Suad al-Amiri, for example. If you are speaking about history, And it's an important category because, as I said, the Palestinians are now taking back the agency to write their own history. I think the works of Rashid Khalidi is absolutely essential for understanding the Palestinian story. Of course, that only comes after the writings of Edward Said that he wrote in the 70s and the 80s. This is just to say a few of these award-winning, internationally recognized writers that their work has been translated to no less than 20 languages, and I hope it is also available in Indonesian.
Okay, we will check about that. And thank you, Mahmoud.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I hope that was good.
And and more
Good luck.
good encounters. Yes.
Audio On, exploring German books. A conversation one page at a time. Audio On is brought to you by Frankfurter Buchmese and the Foreign Office of the Federal Republic of Germany.